I stood on the porch of the house I'd helped my son buy, the bitter wind cutting right through my thin coat. I shivered, clutching the small, brightly wrapped gift I'd brought for my granddaughter, Eliza. The door creaked open, and there was my daughter-in-law, Miranda. She didn't move aside. Instead, she blocked the warm, cheerful sounds of the party spilling out from inside. "Matilda," she said, her voice as cold as the December air. The smell of roasted turkey and pine from the Christmas tree was so close, yet so far away. "I just wanted to bring a gift for Eliza," I pleaded, holding it up. My hands were shaking, and not just from the cold. "Eliza doesn't need it. We're minimalists now, remember. Besides, she's moved on. She has new interests. You'd know that if you were actually involved in her life." My heart fractured. Involved? I hadn't seen my granddaughter in 4 months. Miranda had blocked every visit, cancelled every plan, and ignored every one of my calls. It was like I was being erased from their lives. "Can I just see her?" "She's with her real family now," Miranda replied, each word a deliberate stab. "Your presence just confuses her. It's unhealthy. Honestly, Matilda, you're becoming obsessive." Through the gap in the doorway, I saw my other son, Martin, my late son, Brendan's brother. He glanced at me, his face a mask of guilt, before quickly looking away. Miranda let out a short, cruel laugh. "Martin agrees. With me, you know. Ever since Brendan passed 3 years ago. You just haven't been right. You need to let us go. For everyone's sake." The click of the lock echoed in the silent street. I stumbled back to my car, the gift still in my hands, feeling completely devastated. Hot tears streamed down my frozen cheeks. I pulled out my phone and dialed Martin's number, my last shred of hope. He answered on the second ring, his voice quiet, almost a whisper. "Martin!" I sobbed. "She won't let me in. She locked me out." There was a long pause. Then he sighed heavily. "Matilda, listen. Meet me at the Starview Diner in an hour." I drove to the diner, clinging to that promise. An hour passed. Then another. I sat in the cold vinyl booth, nursing a coffee that had long gone cold. Martin never came. Then my phone buzzed with a text. It was from his number, but the words were pure Miranda. Asterisk Miranda explained everything. "Stop trying to manipulate us with your drama. Don't contact us again." Asterisk, the truth hit me like a physical blow. Martin hadn't been trying to help me. He was reporting back to her, feeding her lies, helping her push me away. Broken and utterly alone, I drove back to my tiny apartment in the poorest part of town. I couldn't even bring myself to go inside. I just sat in my car, the engine off, enveloped by the cold and the dark. That's when I saw it. A sleek, expensive luxury car, the kind that looked like a spaceship that had lost its way, rolled slowly down my street. It was so out of place, it was jarring. It made a U-turn right in front of my building, and then sped back in the direction it came from towards Miranda's house. A strange instinct, a pull I couldn't explain, took over. 2 large men in security uniforms got out, followed by a man in a sharp, tailored coat who moved with an air of authority. I watched from down the block as the man looked up at the brightly lit house. My heart suddenly stopped, then began hammering against my ribs. It couldn't be, but it was. It was Brendan. My son, the son I had mourned for 3 long, agonizing years. He looked older, stronger, and very much alive. He walked up to the door. Miranda opened it, her face annoyed, ready to dismiss another guest. Then she saw him. Her wineglass slipped from her fingers and shattered on the porch. Her face went terrifyingly pale. "Hello, Miranda," Brendan said, his voice calm but heavy. You're gone," she whispered, stumbling backward. "Plans change," he replied, walking past her into the house, parting the stunned family members like the sea. Then he turned to Miranda, his voice low and dangerous. His gaze hardened. "You left my mother standing in the freezing cold on Christmas." With a wave of his hand, he commanded, "Everyone who is not immediate family, leave now." The guests scrambled out, shocked and confused. Soon, only the family remained, trapped in a thick, tense silence. Brendan walked to the window and looked out, his eyes finding my car parked in the shadows. He smiled, a small, sad smile, and walked out of the house, straight towards me. He opened my car door. "Hello, Mom." Tears I didn't know I had left streamed down my face. I reached out, my hand trembling, and touched his cheek. "It's me," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "We have a lot to fix." He drove us back to my little apartment. Inside, he finally explained everything. "3 years ago, Mom, I discovered Miranda was draining your savings accounts. When I confronted her, she just laughed. She threatened to frame you as mentally incompetent and use it to take Elisa away from you forever if I tried to divorce her. It was Miranda, plotting with a lawyer, discussing how to build a case to have me institutionalized, to seize control of my life and my finances. She was going to have you put away, Mom," Brendan said, his voice raw with anger. "It was faked. I've been abroad, building resources, gathering evidence against her. I was the one paying your rent, the anonymous checks." He stood up, his posture resolute. "Tonight, she went too far. Locking you out, turning my own brother against you. Now, we end it." The family was gathered, their faces a mixture of fear and confusion. As soon as Miranda saw me with Brendan, she screamed, "You brought this imposter here. How dare you?" Brendan calmly opened a sleek briefcase on the dining table. "This isn't an imposter, and I have evidence. Video of you breaking into my mother's home to stage evidence of her instability. Financial records of the $47,000 you systematically took from her accounts." He then turned his steely gaze to Martin. "Tell them." Martin, shaking like a leaf, finally stood up. She told me to set Matilda up last night at the diner. She said it was the only way to prove she was unwell, so we could get control." "I'm so sorry, Matilda. He's lying," Miranda shrieked, her eyes darting around for an ally. Brendan didn't flinch. He simply played a video from a hidden camera he'd had installed in Eliza's nursery. It showed Miranda screaming at our little girl, calling her a burden, and ignoring her cries for hours on end. The room went silent. The cruelty was undeniable. Brendan placed a document on the table. "This grants me full and sole custody of Elisa. You have 5 minutes to sign it and leave this house. If you don't, all this evidence, plus evidence of the multi-million-dollar life insurance fraud you committed, goes straight to the authorities." Miranda looked from face to face, but everyone, even Martin, turned away from her in disgust. Defeated, she snatched a pen and scrawled her name on the papers. "You'll regret this." She spat at me before grabbing her purse and storming out. Brendan closed the door behind her, and the silence that followed was one of profound relief. "It's over, Mom." Then, from upstairs, a small, hopeful voice called out, I walked up the stairs, my heart soaring. Eliza stood in the doorway of her room. The moment she saw me, she ran into my arms. "Grandma," she cried, burying her face in my shoulder. "I missed you so much." We moved into a new home, far away from the old one and its painful memories. Miranda was detained at the airport, trying to flee the country. She's now facing a long list of very serious charges. Later, Brendan told me the most chilling part. Miranda's previous partner had also passed away under very suspicious circumstances, right after she had taken control of his finances. Brendan hadn't just saved my money and my relationship with my granddaughter. He had saved my life. We were safe. We were together. And we were finally home. Thank you for listening to our story. If you or someone you know is in a difficult situation, please remember there is always hope and help available.